But what else are the other big movers and shakers apart from Edelweiss? Well, to flag that off, we have with us Soumya Sharma, ET Now's research analyst, Manav Chopra of Indiabulls Ventures, and very shortly we'll be joined by Vikas Jain of Reliance Securities as well. So, good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for joining in. Soumya, let's start off with you first. Vodafone Idea, after the gain seen yesterday, today there's a massive sell-off.
Well, yes, Mubina, the revenues have stabilized. In fact, the average daily revenues have improved by 2.3% on a sequential basis. However, the company still reported a loss, which was lesser than last quarter, but it stood at 4,882 crore rupees. As far as margins are concerned, improved from 9.7 to 15.2% on potential benefits from the merger that they have had recently. Apart from this, the stock falling is because of a CLSA report wherein they believe the revenues have been missed and they're retaining a sell rating with a target price of 12.5 per share. Mind you, that company, the brokerage has reduced their target price from 27 to 12.5 rupees per share.
Having the target price, CLSA continues to retain a sell stance. Manav, Tech Mahindra today is the biggest nifty loser, and you know, IT has been fairly resilient for the last couple of sessions. Today, however, they too have succumbed under the selling pressure.
Yes, in fact, Tech Mahindra has breached its short-term support levels, and overall the stock has been in an uptrend, but the short-term trend has turned bearish. I sense on the immediate basis the prices would go lower and be testing its important support of 770, which is our lower side target. On the immediate basis, 800 would be the important resistance, and for the short term, one can expect near-term declines towards the support of 770.
Okay, 3.2% gone for Tech Mahindra, and Manav believes it's on a short-term basis, it's turned bearish. Let's talk about ITC, one of those few nifty gainers that are there today in the market. In fact, it's now accelerating gains, 2.3% higher for the stock. Remember, it came out with its Q4 numbers yesterday, and post that, we've had brokerages still maintain their optimistic stance. Deutsche Bank has a buy target at 375 rupees. They believe that margin improvement, which was missing in the fourth quarter, will follow shortly. And Credit Suisse has an outperformed stance with a target at 370 rupees, as they do like the fact that the cigarette business has continued to improve its trajectory. I suppose that's the reason why you continue to see gains coming in on the stock price of ITC. Because another tech stock, TCS, it's been a bit lackluster today as well, just about holding on about 2,000 rupees. What would you recommend here?
Well, if you look at the stock trying to make a new high, and he has seen a good amount of consistent sell-off, so we believe the stock sees an amount of decline. The stock can retouch the average level of 19,000 levels on the top side.
Okay, so that's the recommendation coming in on TCS. Let's move on and talk about result reactions then. And Soumya, how are the numbers for Godrej Industries?
Well, talking about Godrej Industries, the numbers are pretty much mixed. As far as the profit is concerned, we saw a growth of over 137%. Well, this was on account of an exceptional gain that was reported during the quarter of around 88.3 crore rupees on remeasurement of fair values of stake in one of its arm. As far as revenue is concerned, it grew at over 48.3% to nearly 2,972 crore rupees. But however, the stock is still under pressure on account of the street estimated the numbers to be better than this. However, a marginal decline of 0.8% for the stock.
Okay, well, moving on to the next stock, Manav, Steel Authority of India. Today the metals pack is not doing that badly. In fact, it's absolutely flat, but sales today is really has really been hit hard. What would you make of this move?
See, the prices have been in a downtrend, and overall, if we see on the daily perspective, it has breached its important support. It has seen a decisive close below its 200-day average, and it definitely indicates that the prices are still going down. It's still trading below short-term averages. The recent declines were also accompanied by above average volumes. I said on the immediate basis, the prices are likely to retest its Feb lows, which are around the 42 levels, and in the near term, one should maintain a sell on rise approach. On the upside, 51 is a strong resistance, and we expect lower targets of 42.
Okay, moving on to the next big buzzer in trade, that's Jet Airways. Today it's in fact one of the top losers on the Nifty 500 index. Remember, we got you that exclusive with respect to Etihad saying that the lenders must bring on board another major investor, and now sources suggest that lenders are actually deliberating the second round of bids for Jet Airways after a more or less unsuccessful first round. And of course, as lenders do believe that the terms put forward by Etihad before they can pump in money do seem to be unviable. So it's going to be another meeting by the lenders to discuss the future course of action and to deliberate on a second round of bids, which in all likelihood the lenders will be prompted to invite. And of course, not to mention, there's also the resignation. The Deputy CEO as well as CFO Amit Agarwal has resigned. So amidst all of that, you are seeing a crack come by in the stock price of Jet Airways. Because today PSU banks are of course the cynosure of all eyes, 2% higher for the Nifty PSU bank. Amidst them BOB, what would you recommend?
Well, the stock will good support the region of 105 levels, and we believe the stock has seen good amount of momentum in today's trade. This move can be extended to 115 and 117 in the overall perspective.
Okay, so that's Vikas's take on a Bank of Baroda. So Amir, how are the numbers for Muthoot Finance? Largely looking good, and at least you are seeing the stock price reaction as well come by. That's Muthoot Finance.
Well, yes, Movina, if we talk about the numbers, the profit was pretty much flat at 511.5 crore rupees. However, the net interest income saw a growth of over 3.4%. What interesting is the company's net interest margins improved sharply from 13.92 to 14.68%. At the same time, the company reported an AUM growth of over 21% led by its home finance and microfinance subsidiary. At the same time, a little bit of disappointment came in from the asset quality front, wherein we saw that the gross NPA ratios increased from 1.96% to 2.27% sequentially. So overall, good set of numbers, very good growth, but asset quality was a bit of a disappointment.
Okay, Manav, let's talk about BHEL. Massive traction witnessed in today's trading session after very long. What would you recommend?
The prices after a series of decline have bounced from its deep oversold levels, and I sense on the immediate basis as the momentum indicators are hinting for some positive divergence, there could be a strong pullback into the stock. And we also expect a mean reversion into this. Recently there is a sell-off kind of structure which indicates a sharp pullback rally, so keeping that in play, 60 would be an important support, and we expect an upside momentum rally towards the levels of 70. So for a short-term perspective, one should definitely maintain a buy into BHEL.
Alright, that's BHEL, a recommendation, 6% higher today in trade. Jasdal has come out with its fourth quarter numbers, and it looks like a pretty good set. So it's a strong Q4, and not just that, the management as well has given quite a positive outlook. The fourth quarter revenue has grown 2.4%, whereas the profit has grown 9.2%, both compared to the previous quarter. The paid listings as well did increase. In fact, it has gone to almost 5 lakh. So that's a very encouraging sign, and it has shown overall listings as well has grown on a sequential basis. The stock price did dip after those initial gains, but it has once again stabilized to go into the green, and it's 1.3% higher as we speak. Because we were talking about Steel Authority of India just a short while ago and how it's a big loser, but today, interestingly, after very long, we are seeing some very strong gains come by for a Vedanta. What are you observing?
Well, if you look at the structure, the stock has made a higher bottom level was 150 to 153 levels, and we are witnessing good amount of pullback. We believe this pullback can be extended further to touch the short-term averages of 174, 175 price side. So one should maintain a positive bias with a stop of
Okay, so that's Vedanta for you, 3.2% higher. Aavas Financiers is the stock we'd like to flag off. It's in the green, smart gains coming in for this one. This after the stock has been added to the MSCI Small Cap Index. So it's caused the stock to snap those 3 days of losses. And even though it's at 1374, it's just about 3% away from its record high. So that's a very encouraging sign. And do remember that the numbers as well for this one were very strong. So positive momentum seen at least from a longer term basis for Aavas Financiers, regardless of the weakness witnessed in the markets. So Amir, SRF, what's the number looking like here?
Well, the numbers are pretty much strong for SRF. The revenues were up by 28.5% to nearly 2,072 crore rupees. PAT was also saw a surge of over 54%. Talking about the operating front, the EBITDA saw an improvement of 39.3%, and even the margins were impressive. They were up from 17.3% to 18.8%. Apart from this, the company was in news for selling its engineering plastics business to Dutch firm DSM. So the company gaining smartly on back of good results.
Okay, there you have it. That's the word coming in on SRF. CCL Products has delivered its numbers. A downtick seen in the top line of 13% at 196 crore rupees. But what a surge in the profitability. It's almost doubled, in fact, at now 49 crore rupees. Remember, CCL Products has its eyes on its Continental brand of coffee. So that may as well be aiding the company significantly and the bottom line too. So that's CCL Products. Today in trade, we are seeing, however, a downtick come by 3.7% gone, perhaps having to do with a massive drop seen on the top line. In fact, it's up even 200 crore rupees now. Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll just take a very short break right here on Market Fatafat. Do come right back. We'll try and cover as many stocks as possible when we return. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET now. The Westlife development numbers are appearing on your screens, and the key parameter for this one is same-store sales growth. Once again, I think it's coming at 5.6%. So just after that number, you did see a deep gash come by in the stock price of Westlife as well. This versus a base of 25%. Now, do remember that Westlife has been one of those companies that has managed to do pretty well when it comes to the same-store sales growth numbers quarter after quarter. In fact, I think for the last 4 to 5 quarters, it has delivered, well, at least, yes, for the last 2 quarters, it has delivered a healthy figure when it comes to the SSSG growth last 3 to 4 quarters, but this time around it has sort of slowed down. 5.6% is where it has come in. So you are seeing the sharp drop come by, and remember, same-store sales growth is a key parameter by which you do analyze the numbers of these QSRs. And remember, Jubilant Foodworks is as well going to come out with its number tomorrow, so it will be important to see how Jubilant does. Westlife operates McDonald's, Jubilant operates Domino's, both in the same industry, not necessarily in the same category, but yeah, they do sort of follow the same trend. So Westlife Development is the next stock we are flagging off. Sharp gash seen in the stock price today, 1.9% gone. Okay, Manav, let's talk about another big mover, and that is Sterlite Tech. It's a 7% downtick as we speak in this one, and any which ways, we've been seeing a lot of negative news around this stock. So what would you recommend?
The prices are on a sharp downtrend. In fact, there has been no respite in the stock, there has been pullbacks in the stock in the past. So I sense, on the immediate basis, there has been a breakdown from its weekly support levels, and one should definitely avoid getting into the stock or any sort of a bottom fishing, because the overall stance will be bearish, and on the immediate basis, the stock would even plunge downside towards the levels of 155 and 145. So one should definitely avoid the stock and maintain a sell on rise if there is a chance.
Okay, so sell on rise is what Manav is recommending. Soumya, disappointing numbers from Karnataka Bank?
Well, yes, as far as net interest income is concerned, it saw a degrowth of over 11.3%. But what's impressive is the company reported a profit of over 61.73 crores, which was up 461%. But at the same time, provisions during the quarter rose compared to the last quarter. Both GNPA and net NPA ratios declined, but it needs to be noted that on an absolute basis, the gross NPA ratios were up by 4.7% on a sequential basis. So pretty much that's what I guess is keeping the stock in red today, down by 5%.
By the way, look at the Nifty. What a surge witnessed in the equity market as we speak. It's at the day's high, 0.6% of gains, and we are back above 11,200 for the Nifty. And it's just accelerated in the last couple of minutes. I wonder if it has to do with the fact that the DAX, FTSE, as well as the French index, the CAC, has just opened a couple of minutes ago, and that too has opened on a positive note. The stock 600, the stocks 50, Euro stocks 50 is showing an uptick of 0.4% on opening. So I wonder if it has to do with that, but it is certainly lending a leg up to the Indian equity markets for one. Some positive cues from the global equity markets. Remember, US futures as well has turned green. So yeah, significant uptick seen in the Nifty, 50.6% higher at the day's high. Let's continue flagging off movers and shakers, and because today Manappuram Finance is really raking in those gains. Your recommendation?
Well, the stock has seen good amount of support from those 112, 113 levels, and good spike in this trade, but we wait for some more time as the stock would see witness an amount of correction.
Okay, at the day's high for Manappuram Finance. Engineers India has news with respect to order that it has won, and this is to provide PMC services for the construction of a Mongolian oil plant. This is something that has caused the stock price to stay mildly in the green, 2.8% higher. This is for a crude oil refinery plant in Mongolia, and it has entered into a contract with Messrs. Mangold Refinery State-owned IIC. So it's essentially an export contract that it has won. 106 rupees for Engineers India. Manav, Apollo Tyres has been a stock that's really been in the doldrums. You too believe that this one could see some more red on screen?
In fact, the prices have seen a series of decline, and it has also breached its important daily support levels. I see the momentum is still quite bearish, and there has been no divergence which is ending for a pullback. In fact, the stock will witness a stiff resistance at 180.85 on the upside. So I expect on the immediate basis the prices to test the lower support, which is around 165, and the recent declines are also adding up good volume. So one should definitely maintain a bearish stance into this.
Okay, well, moving on to the next stock, Samya, ICICI Lombard. Today, in fact, in general, the entire insurance pack seems to be in the red. Put your finger on any of them. New India, of course, because of the numbers, but HDFC Life, SBI, ICICI Lombard, all of them are losing in trade.
Well, yes, but ICICI Lombard today is in focus on back of MSCI index rejig, wherein there have been 12 additions and 10 deletions, and ICICI Lombard happens to be one which has made an entry to this index, while Cadila has exited. In fact, what we were expecting were also that ICICI Lombard would likely see an inflow of 150 million US dollars, while Cadila would see an outflow of over 62 million US dollars on back of this rejig in MSCI India index, but stock down by over 1.5%.
Okay, so that's ICICI Lombard. It's completely off the day's high, 1.5% down. Continuing with the countdown then, and because V-Mart, yesterday it came out with its numbers and we saw stock reaction. Today the correction continues. What are you observing in the way the stock's been moving?
And the stock has broken its typical important averages, and we believe the stock can further slide down because the overall trend is negative. The stock can further slide down.
Okay, V-Mart is down 3% as we speak. Great set of numbers from United Bank of India. It's it was quite a positive surprise. We had a neat NI jump of 17.4% on a year-on-year basis. This time around, the company delivered a profit on the bottom line at 95 crores versus a loss in the corresponding quarter. Asset quality as well improved. Provision figure as well decreased. So in every parameter, United Bank has actually been able to do well. Gross NPA came in at 16.5% and provision figure at 1687 crore rupees. So I think it's almost ticked all the check boxes when it comes to the important parameters for the fourth quarter, and that's the reason why the stock as well is higher. Well, on that note, we're completely out of time. So Vikas as well as Manav, thank you for sharing your technical strategy. Soumya, to you as well. To wrap up the entire trading day's action, we will be having closing trades just after this short break. So stay tuned for that.